And on the streets of Port of Spain, the talk has been recently and continues to be for many years that what we do is go after the little tiny little wabines and crapo fish that swim in the river and the big kingfish and carrot that are swimming upstream. We'd never catch those guys.
For years, for donkey years, they would say, decades upon decades, we have spoken to the issue of the big fish, the untouchables. And these are the godfathers of the drug trade. My knowledge is you're catching a lot of small fish and a few medium-sized fish.
Let's start with the latter, which is the financiers. The fact of the matter remains that suspicion and doubt and lack of trust have plagued our country for too long. Trinidad and Tobago is besieged by questions about the big and small players in the criminal activities that take place in the country. And in particular, questions have been raised about whether or not people in jackets and ties, perhaps like the one that I am wearing now, are not involved in the importation and distribution and financing of major criminal activity involving the drug trade and the gun trade. We need to settle that.
And I want to come to the issue of businessmen in this society. I have said before, and let me say it again. And these are the critical issues that government and opposition and other NGOs must come together on. There is no consistently crooked cop that doesn't have perhaps a lawyer, a politician, and a businessman in his space. None. All right? That to my mind is very serious. And I find it very disingenuous for top gurus in the business world to operate as if they don't have colleagues involved in this trade. What we have in Trinidad and Tobago right now, that's why I say we need a state of emergency, but it's how we implement it. And we must go to all the classes and all the levels in the society. What you have happening is that you have significant business players in this country who are thugs in their employ. All right? And as soon as something goes wrong with the trade, they can employ those thugs at a moment's notice to execute, all right, the unfaithful workers in their trade.
But we know that after this is all said and done, in the same way with CIB, CLICO, and HCU to a lesser extent, those who are responsible for that, in the same way that those who are responsible for crime, who are financing it, who are funding it, who are the main men behind, they will not be touched.
Well, let me come at you. I tell you, once to every man and nation comes a moment to decide. And this is our moment right now. If we go through the state of emergency and don't deal with some of those fundamental issues, we'll collapse at the center. We are already collapsing at the center. And we'll collapse on the periphery.